Nike is officially cutting its ties with Footlocker. What's up, guys? My name is James Hill. I'm the CEO of Black Millionaires, and I'm going to break down why this is going to be devastating for Footlocker and why other retailers should be looking over their shoulder. Now, recently, Forbes put out an article detailing how Nike is cutting its ties with Footlocker. And why is this a big deal? This is a big deal because in 2021, Footlocker financial filings disclosed that 70% of their sales came from Nike products. Think about that. When you go into a Footlocker store, there's a variety of shoes. You got Pumas, you got Timberlands, you got Adidas, K-Swiss, Crocs, whatever you want to name it, right? 70% of the store sales came from one brand, which is Nike, which means Nike had a huge leverage over them to negotiate different prices and things like that. So now Nike is focusing on a direct-to-consumer business model. A direct-to-consumer business model is when the company goes through, cut out all third parties and go directly to the customer. So you buy directly from their website, similar to a small business setting up a Shopify store like blackmillionaires.com, and you go on there and you actually purchase one of the t-shirts or whatever I'm selling on there. So this is very, very important because Nike usually sold through third parties, right? So they sold through the Foot Actions, the Foot Lockers, DSWs, these big, large retailers. But Nike is doing a third party cut. So they're cutting out a lot of these third party companies. And Foot Locker was the largest one that sent shockwaves. When the news broke that Nike was actually cutting ties with Foot Locker, their stock, which is ticker symbol FL, dropped 30%. So that means if their stock was valued at $100 per share, it's now valued at $70 per share, just based off of the news. And that's because, again, 70% of its sales come from Nike products. Now, the CEO of Foot Locker came out with a statement basically saying they're going to start focusing on selling more Pumas, more Adidas, and Crocs, right? But come on, let's be honest. No amount of Croc sales can actually trump the 70% of sales that Nike products were bringing in. So this is not just Nike shoes. We're talking about Nike socks, which are very, very popular. We're talking about Nike shorts, which are very, very popular, and Nike apparel in general. So shirts, headbands, things like that. So these are like those products like socks, shirts. They have a very, very high profit margin, which is why the stock dove 30%. Foot Locker should have been prepared for this because Nike has been cutting a lot of third-party retailers. One of the biggest ones was Amazon. So Nike stopped selling its products directly on Amazon, even though through third parties, there's thousands of Nikes that can be purchased. Like for example, if I buy a pair of Nikes and I list them on my Amazon site, I can sell those because I'm reselling the shoes. However, Nike cut its ties with Amazon because they wanted to push their direct-to-consumer product, right? And if you haven't noticed, a lot of Nike stores and Nike outlets have been popping up. I'm from Detroit, and it was huge news when we got a Nike store downtown Detroit. Now I stay in Atlanta. There's several different Nike shops popping up that gives you that option to go purchase directly from Nike instead of buying directly from retailers. And let's understand how retailers make money. So if I buy your product wholesale, right, that means I'm going to pay you, let's say for a pair of Nike Air Force Ones. Let's say Air Force Ones cost $100 and we're just going to use that for round numbers. Foot Locker will buy 10,000 pair, 5,000 pair per store, right? At a lower cost. So let's say they buy 10,000 pair at $72 per shoe. Now they go resell them to the public for $92 or $100 per shoe, and that $32 of profit margin is how they make their money and how they get their sales. So if Nike has trained you over the years to buy a pair of shoes from Footlocker for $92 and they sell them at a profit to retailers for $70, that means Nike is going to sell directly to the consumer at that same price. So as the consumer, that doesn't mean you're going to get a deal. Nike is just going to cut out those third parties, and instead of them making $65 off a $100 pair of shoes, they're now going to make $90 because it might cost them $10 or $15 per shoe. Right? This is a huge move for Nike and bad blood for all retailers, especially Foot Locker. Since ending third parties and other retailers, Nike has cut out Zappos, DSWs, Urban Outfitters. A lot of these large retailers that you typically see in malls and in strip malls, they are now being cut out of Nike's supply chain, and Nike is now going to go direct to consumers. Now, if you're a small business owner, what does this mean? A lot of small business owners have aspirations of getting in the huge big box retailers. But what the pandemic showed you is that a lot of these big box retailers are not essential to the economy. So if the economy shuts down, you don't need to go to a DSW. You can sell directly to your consumer and make a larger profit margin because consumers are getting used to that click and order mentality where they buy something and it's being shipped out to them within a week, within 2 days, and with Amazon, they're now doing 1 day shipping. So if you're a small business owner and you're looking to get in retail, I get it from a branding perspective because it makes you look bigger than your company is. If you're in a DSW, if you're in Urban Outfitters, if you're in Foot Locker, things of that nature, because it's very tangible to see. But what I would encourage you to do is always keep that direct to consumer business model because that is the most important relationship you can have, a direct relationship with your customer. Now you can send out an email, a text, and make a social media post and make the same, if not more money compared to if you were in one of these huge big box retail stores. If you're a small business owner and you're watching this and you want to learn how to build your brand from scratch, again, I'm James Hill, CEO of Black Millionaires. I started Black Millionaires with $150 and grew it to over $1 million in under 2 years. Click the link in the bio, visit brandingtothebank.com. We're going to show you, me, my trademark attorney, and some of my friends are going to come in and give you direct information on how to build your brand from scratch and make sure you maintain that customer relationship that's very, very important. And even if you want to get your brand in retail, I'm having one of my friends, Amanda Wilson, who has her product in Target. She's going to come and show you guys exactly how to get your products in retail. I love you. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like the video, subscribe below, and share this out to other people.